Hello. Sorry, the sound wasn't working. I just have to share. Just excuse me while I share. Hey Jerry. Hey Hasborn. Welcome guys to live stream. So before we start, I shall do some advertisements. If you want to come to one of my events, I'm going to read them out to you now. I have an event in Spain starting next weekend. It's a week retreat. That's the 27th of October, so Saturday to the 4th of November, which is the Sunday. So that's 8-night retreat. So it's the Saturday to the Sunday. They also have a retreat in Tiruvannamalai, the 13th of January to the 20th of January 2019. And then I also have some open talks in India, the 6th of January to the 12th of January, the 24th of January to the 30th of January, and the 2nd to the 8th of February. And that is in Tiruvannamalai, India, Goa, India, and Rishikesh, India. Yes. If you want to ask a question on this live stream, then the way that you do it is by phoning in or writing a message through Skype. I don't really look on YouTube. Sometimes I do, but most of the time it's on Skype. And my Skype address is Lisa Cairns 12, and it's in the box below. And the title of today's talk is, I've forgotten it already, Life Does Not Begin in the Future, It Is Now. This title was just inspired to me from a conversation I had with my friend who I saw at the weekend, who was saying that she always has the feeling that life is going to begin in the future when she completes this or does that or gets to this, and it's never going to begin. You're never going to do enough things and then be like, life begins when I get this house, when I get this person, this girlfriend or boyfriend, when I complete my taxes, or when I get enough money, or when I get slim enough or fat enough or whatever it is, my life will begin. And your life's never going to begin. It's beginning now. It is now. It's here. It's happening. This moment, this waiting is what removes you from this. It's what makes you feel like you are somebody moving in time, like you're always focused on this timeline rather than what's happening now. But I always like to sit in silence before the talk, so before I go on, we can do some sitting in silence. I just want to also advertise another person's channel who called Video Clips, who edits talks of mine and puts music to them and just does nice little clips. It's a really lovely channel, and I'm so grateful he does it. And it's called Video Clips, and it's associated with his channel. You should be able to find it if you press the I in the box, I don't know where it is, here or here, if you press that information on the video, it will come up and you'll be able to see video clips, like a associated channel it's called. And it's really nice. And so after the talk, he edits out me blowing my nose, or maybe not me blowing my nose, me sitting there in silence all the time, or yeah, he just takes nice clips of me talking. He sometimes makes nice clips of me sitting in silence too. It's something I've always wanted to do, but it's a lot of work. I've never got around to doing it. I'm a little bit sniffly today. There's some pollen I'm allergic to. I don't know what to talk about. All there is love. Boop, boop, boop. When you're identified with being something, so when you're identified with being a person, then life can't just come and go, because there is something which is being held onto, which is an impossibility, and it is a struggle to try to hold on to this perception of self, because there is nothing that's permanent. Everything is always changing and moving. So we all have these characters. So Lisa has a character, or there is a character here called Lisa, and dependent on where you look from, I could say that's me, and then from another aspect, that's not who I am. Who I am is the infinite, but that's part of me. That's how life is experiencing this world, is through this Lisa character. And this Lisa character has likes and wants and doesn't like things, and has ways of being, has qualities, has things that she's good at, things that she's not good at, has relationships, has difficulties in relationships, has ease in relationships, has all types of experiences through the character. Now, if there's an identification with that's who you are, so if you feel like that is who you are and that you're that solid entity, then it's like you always come in conflict with life, because you're trying to hold on to something that cannot be held on to. It's like if you imagine a kaleidoscope, like all those different colors moving, and they create all these different shapes. So you look through it and there's a beautiful shape, and then you move it and it all moves again, and a different shape is created. When you're identified with the sense of self, it's like trying to keep two particular squares in the kaleidoscope still. So it's trying to keep part of it still and letting everything else move, and it can't. It screws up the whole picture if you try to do that. It can't move unless all of it moves. It's the way it works, and that's the same with what's happening. So there is this character that's appearing and disappearing in every moment, and it's not who you are. And that character is always changing and always growing, and is never the same character. But the character has like a pattern to it, just like a flower has a pattern to it. The flower doesn't just suddenly turn into a dinosaur. It remains in the pattern of a flower. It could turn into a dinosaur suddenly. I mean, there's always the possibility that anything could happen. I forget the probability of that happening. There is a probability that life could just get it wrong. It's like the scientific equation that something like 0.1 of a chance that life just gets it wrong, and suddenly there's magic, like the flower turns into a dinosaur. I'm looking out of the window here at my mum's beautiful flowers. So there's always that possibility that that life could be random, but most of the time it fits into a pattern. So Lisa's character has a flavour to her. If she didn't, like, part of the reason that we have these like personality structures is so we can communicate and interact with other humans. If we didn't have like this semi-consistent personality, then it would be difficult to relate to other personality structures and to our work and to our environment. So we have this this personality structure, or this character, which sort of stays the same, but also is evolving and changing and growing. And it's not a solid person, it's like a habit that happens. So when I'm in front of my mother, I behave a certain way, and when I'm in front of my lover, I behave a certain way. But it's a habit that appears. It's like you get put into an environment and a certain outcome happens. So I'm sat in front of the camera and I can't stop looking at myself. There's myself. So every time I do that, you can see that I'm looking at myself. I'm joking. I am looking at myself, but that's not the habit. It is really hard though. Why? I'm going to make it small, my picture. But like when you do FaceTime and Skype, there's always a picture of yourself and you're like trying, you're like, okay, we're talking about serious stuff here and I'm looking at my reflection. Got to cut it off. What was I talking about? So when I'm in different circumstances, there's different habits that come out. So when I'm put in front of the camera, I talk about non-duality, not all the time, but this comes out. And when I do one-to-one sessions with people, I'm always different in the one-to-one session, dependent on how that person is. I can't say this is the way I always do things, or this is what happens, because I'm always picking up on the energy of the other person. Then a sort of like third character is made with the mixture of the two energies. But there's a flavor that goes through. And when you're identified with it, there is a belief that that's who you are, that that person that was at some point born and exists as a soul inside the body, and at some point dies or moves on to heaven or moves on to God or whatever you believe happens after the body dies, but it lives inside the person, and that's who you are. Even though you have no proof of it, you can't sort of turn around and find this person that you believe yourself to be. You kind of feel like that's who you are, and you're trying to be the best version of yourself all the time, and you're always kind of examining what you are and what you're like in relationship to people, and what other people think about you, and where your life's going, and what you're going to be. So you think about yourself a lot, and then that really feels like who you are, and you have this image of yourself in your brain, and you're always trying to live up to this image, and you don't want to be the bad person, you don't want to be an asshole, you don't want to be weak, you don't want to have a naughty dog, you don't want to I don't know, whatever it is. You have an image of what you want to be and what you want your life to be, and that's really important. And that kind of keeps you living in the timeline, because you're always imagining something that's not here. So you're always imagining what you're like, or what you're going to be like, or what you were like, or what you said to this person, or what's anxious and what's annoying. And every time you imagine something, we're so intelligent, we have a feeling inside the body. So you imagine like having sex with this amazing hot bartender or something, and you imagine that, and then your whole body is like aroused. Or you imagine like falling into the fire pit and your whole body is in like agony or discomfort. Or you imagine an argument you had and you feel guilt. So you have these imaginations, and then you have these feelings that follow through. Some people can't feel their feelings, which is always very interesting. Some people can feel their feelings. Some people feel their feelings too much, it's too overwhelming, and some people are totally dead and numb to it. But I'm sure everyone can relate in some way to what I'm talking about. So most humans live their life in their imagination of themselves. They're not actually living life, they're living in imagination. So they're sort of living a removed life. And that makes life dull, actually, and it makes it feel like, instead of being full of infinite possibilities and wonder, it makes it feel like you're limited and contracted inside the body. And then what you do, because you become obsessed with thinking about yourself, you believe that you can find the solution to your problems inside your thoughts, which is always in time, so in past or in future. So you believe that in the future you're going to one day arrive at a place which is perfect, and when you arrive you can be happy. So you're one day going to complete all the tasks that you have to do. You're going to clean the house, you're going to get enormous boobs, you're going to become mega rich, you're going to become a superstar, people are going to appreciate you for who you are, you're going to make up with your mother, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Yep, da 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 da, boo 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 boo. Then you get to 90 and you're like, oh fuck, I never actually really experienced life. I was always experiencing life through an imagination of life. And the really amazing bit about this present moment, which blows people's mind, and some people love and some people hate this, is in this moment there isn't separation. There isn't a you that's in relationship with life. In this moment there is only life, and in this moment that's all you ever have. Like right here, if you don't imagine the past or the future, if you don't imagine that way or that way, boop 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 boop, then you can't imagine who you are. Who are you if you don't imagine it? But this imagination of you has become so strong, it kind of feels like you end here. You end at the edge of your body. But as there begins to be a breaking with the identification of your thoughts and your feelings, the thoughts and the feelings are really interconnected. As you do that, and there is a collapsing back in more to what's actually happening, you see that in this moment there is never actually somebody. There is this infinite nature, this wholeness. But that's not the end point. That's not what you're meant to end up with, I don't think. And this has been confusing for me over the last 8 years of how to communicate this, because there's meant to be a collapsing back into this present moment and this connection to this infinite. So that's who you are, is this infinite. But then there's always meant to be an appearance of a character, I think. I mean, I can't be sure about all these things. Just take from these talks what you feel resonates with you. But for me, like, there are some speakers, very few, that say the character, everything totally disappears and there is nobody. But I feel like that's not, there is nobody, yes, in this moment there is no one, but there isn't a character that's meant to appear and disappear. So the character, when you're talking with your friends, the character is appearing, your imagination of Lisa, the imagination of you is appearing. And then when you go into silence again, and you're not thinking about that character, there is this infinite space. But when that character is there, there is also this connection to the infinite space. Basically what I'm trying to say is this isn't a denial of the character. The character, you're living, this life is meant to be a human life. So even though we say there is nobody, or I say there is nobody, there is ultimately nobody, and that's got to be seen, and that's got to be seen and energetically experienced, that this reality isn't happening to anyone. But yet there is an appearance of character that comes and goes and is always changing. And I think that identification with being nobody or with being somebody, either way, creates resistance to life, because you're identifying with something and there is nothing you can identify to be. There is everything, including the personality structure, including the character. But this becomes really difficult to talk about, and I can't say that I've managed to intellectually settle on a way to speak about this. I always change everything I say, and it's not about saying it in the correct way or putting it correctly. It's more about picking up on the energy when it's being spoken about and challenging what you believe to be true. Because as it's challenged energetically and intellectually, your beliefs, then what are you left with but this moment? So when it's challenged what you believe yourself to be in the future or in the past, or you believe yourself to be right now, when that's let go of, what's left? What is left? And then the character can come up and say, you know, I went for a walk with my dog today, and I did more paperwork, which I thoroughly enjoyed. You can see now all my paperwork sitting here. I'm not a fan of paperwork, and I managed to move to a country that is a massive fan of paperwork. Everything has to be documented. It's karma. Whatever you try to push away always comes towards you. Whatever you try to bring towards you always comes towards you. And I have to say, a lot of my life I've been trying to avoid the paperwork. So now I've got karma back. And I will become good at doing this paperwork. I will. And then we go back to nothing. So right here, who are you? There is nobody. You aren't that person that did the paperwork today. You aren't the person that did your garden or walked your dog or went to the shops. You are this moment, this infinite space. This part everyone's forgotten. Everyone believes they are someone, and life becomes so stressful when you are someone, because what also comes with that thought is it's your life, it's your responsibility to make your life happy, and that you choose, and that you've got free will, and that you exist separately inside that body in relationship to everything. And all of that's bullshit and going to create you loads of suffering because they're false ideas. But if you identify with those ideas, they will also create you suffering. The goal of this is to remember that you are no thing, not a thing, and everything. And you're experiencing life through this human character form. You can't escape that either. And I'm sorry if in my earlier talks I didn't acknowledge the character enough. I couldn't do anything differently. But now I'm more inclusive of the character, because after you've met 100 people that you see are using there is nobody because their life is going crazy and becoming incredibly fucked up and they don't know how to cope, so then they're like, there is nobody. And that's not going to work. That's going to drive you to the nut house. This is absolute embracing of every part of this life, which includes the character. It's found in everything, which is nothing. It's not exclusion of anything, it's everything. I got a little I got a little I got a little I got a little To just check I'm still in the picture. My hair is still okay. Sometimes when you're doing talks, especially my character, I end up, my hair's like... This is the good thing about doing it in front of a camera, is every so often you can just check the hair is still in place. One time, with a very good friend of mine that is a teacher, we were sitting in a coffee shop and I went off somewhere, and he was speaking to people, like, I don't know, it was about 10 people around the table that he was speaking to, or 5 people, I can't remember. And he was talking about non-duality, a very serious character. And he'd been eating pan of chocolates. And I go back and everyone's listening to him and everyone's too shy to say anything. And he's managed to get the whole pan of chocolate all over his face. Very serious character. And he's talking about non-duality in a very serious way. Nobody said anything. And then I came back and I was like, a little bit of chocolate there on your face. It was so funny. That sort of thing cracks me up. When we're too shy to say, oh, you got a little bit of a bogey hanging out of the, and we all have these situations. The worst is when you're in a romantic situation, you have a booger and you realise you've got a booger, you go like that and you're like, oh God. Oh, you're on a second date. Of course, that's not happened to me. My nose doesn't leak at all. My nose, everything always stays up here. Now I know that you think I can't take her seriously if she talks about the body in this way. I can't take her philosophy or non-duality seriously. I'm trying to think of a joke of that, but got to that and then I'm like, there's no punchline. You see, I don't make up the jokes beforehand, I just kind of do it and they come out and they either bomb or they're successful. And that one, nothing came out to, can't take her seriously, and then nothing came out. Well, you can, it's okay. You can find someone funny and you can also appreciate their seriousness as well. I'm sure I've said this many times before because I say everything. I used to struggle going through different characters. So I used to struggle being funny one, sexy one, serious one, sad one. I used to feel like I could only present one character, like only one part, like the funny or the sad or the serious or the sexy, particularly the sexy. The sexy and the funny I found really hard to integrate. But fuck it. Who cares? You can integrate all of them. You can just be whatever you are in the moment. It really doesn't matter. if you've got an idea that you have to be something else than what you are, then you're going to create discomfort. I mean, sometimes I get embarrassed by some of my silliness. But you got to look at things logically. I would rather take the few seconds of embarrassment than restricting myself, like and holding it in. And it's okay to fail. Like, this is another idea that people get really stuck on, an identification that people get stuck on, is that if you fail, there's something wrong with you. Life, like if you look at metaphors and storytelling, like all films and TV shows and books and novels, everything is about failing and getting up again. And then the human gets it in their brain, this story is telling me that I cannot fail because it hurts. No, it's telling you, you fail, you fall over, and then you get up again. Or you take away from the story, it means if I have pride, or if I'm really excited about something or really happy about something, and then I fall over, it sucks. I never let myself get too high. I must stay small, because then when I fall over, it won't be so hard. And sometimes you're not even conscious of these games. Often, actually, people aren't conscious of it at all. And then you're always pulling yourself back. You're allowed to fail. You are allowed to fail. So many times. I've failed so many times. And you can't really fail. That's just an idea. It's just that you trip and then you get up again. Things go like this. I wish I'd known that when I was younger. When I was younger, I had some crazy ideas that you had to be like perfect at something in order to want to do it. So you had to. So I used to be a drummer at school, and I was quite good, I think. But the teachers used to make fun of me because the place where I was allowed to practice was near to their staff room, and they used to make fun. And then I thought that what they were telling me was that I had to be perfect. Like that practicing, the part of practicing and then not doing things right meant that I wasn't allowed to do it. So I gave up, and I was really good, I think. And then also I had this like audition. I hadn't been playing that long, and I had an audition, and I was quite young. I was only like 14. And then they expected too much of me. And then I just after that thought, no, I'm not good enough at drumming. And I didn't realize that that's it. Like you fall over, people laugh at you, you make mistakes, you go to an audition and you're sweating so much that you can't keep the beat. And then you do it again. That is the lessons of all the books. That is the goal. That is the path to success, that you withstand failing, falling over. That's part of this life. That's part of being human. What could we write novels about or create art about if we didn't go up and down and up and down? We succeed, we fail. In a way, you could say it isn't that. It's just like a way of helping you grow and expand. They say it's 10,000 hours makes you an expert. That's life. Okay, so now we will take questions. So if you want to call in, please call now, and I will speak to you. If not, I will read the questions out. And that's through Skype, which is Lisa Cairns 12. You can find the information in the box below. So this is from Robert Hearn. Hi, Robert. I hope you listened to the song I recorded for you. I swear you listening to music on one of your webcasts. I saw you listening to, and I got up and recorded it. I hope it has your attention. I haven't listened to it yet, Robert. I'm always reluctant to click on links that people send me, but I will click on it. And the reason why was because one time somebody sent me a porno through Skype and I clicked on it and I didn't even realise it just downloaded, and then like about a couple of days later I saw it. It was not a nice porno either. I'm not opposed to porno, but that wasn't very nice. And I am very opposed to anyone sending it to me through any forms. That's really rude to do that. Sorry, I just realised by saying that it might encourage other people to send. I do not want that. I think the reason I ask is because, questions. I'm so glad I found you, and I'm so thankful you put yourself out there. I was feeling so alone after I became aware because no one understood. But sometimes should I stop and answer, or should I keep going? Because there's something I want to say to that. But sometimes I wonder if most people are really aware like this, and I'm the strange one for only realising this so late in life. I remember already being aware as a child until all the traumas got too much and I had to leave my body. At the time I didn't realise what was going on. All I could tell was that my head felt foggy. I thought I had brain damage. Now I'm aware and in my body again, and my head isn't foggy anymore. Do you sometimes wonder that too, that most people are already aware and we're the strange ones for only being aware so late in life? I think you just answered the question. They're living imaginary stories of themselves. I think the reason I ask is because I wonder if I should shut up about what's going on with me, because everyone already knows what I'm saying and they're going to see somehow messed up I was for years, and you're not supposed to let others know you're messed up. I just don't understand how to live with the character, the games, etc. I think everyone is already aware that the character and the games aren't truth. They just, unlike me, decide to live with the character and the games, while I never wanted to live lies. Hey, beautiful. His name, or her name, I get the sense it's a he, but her, so I'm going to call you him. So beautiful Snow. Hi, beautiful Snow. Well, I think that you're trying to you're mixing up the character with non-duality, and you're making awakening a personal thing when it's not a personal thing. So you're going to be having the same problems as you did before waking up. It's the way the brain works. You're going to find the same problems until eventually you go past them and you stop having them. So I bet before you call it becoming aware. I don't know what that means, but I'll call it awakening. So before the awakening, you had problems being around other humans, of how to integrate your character and be honest and be truthful with other humans. And then you're still on the same problem. Maybe not. They are writing. They just say thank you. So that's a psychological loop that you've got to see through. Firstly, I don't know how awakened or how much attachment there is to the character still or not, or whatever you call it, or how much suffering there's arising. But you've got to see that you don't get anything from, you don't get what you're looking for from being with humans. What you're looking for is this moment, and having lots of human contact or having them understand you or not understand you is never going to give you what you want. What you want is what you are, is this moment. And then the character has an urge to get on with other humans and to be integrated. and it has patterns of the way it is, and it maybe is liked by others or not liked by others, or whatever dramas it has or conditioning it has. It's going to have conflict and good times with others. Maybe it feels lonely. I think a lot of people in our society feel lonely currently because of what's happened with all the social media. Whatever it feels in amongst humans, that is a pattern. You wouldn't feel it if it wasn't a pattern arising in your brain. So your brain could pick up on many different things. It could pick up on how beautiful everything is now, or how sweet humans are, how grumpy humans are, whatever. It could tell any story, and it will see that repetitively in society. So if it thinks that it can't communicate with humans, it will keep seeing that and keep attracting that subject, because that's what it's putting its attention on. And if it thinks it does connect with humans, then it will keep seeing that, and it will feel like it connects with humans. I know you think, oh no, Lisa, you're not right. It really is others. It's not the way my brain thinks, but it's really like that. If you keep seeing a miserable day, then that's all you'll see is a miserable day. And then at the end of the day, when you're talking to people, someone will say, what a beautiful day. And you're like, it was a miserable day, because your brain told you that story. And then that was what you took in. You saw like clouds or loads of pollution or whatever it was too hot or too cold. You'll just take in the negative. If you saw it was a beautiful day, then you'll just find the beauty. So it's going to be more on the character level. You're going to be more happier, the more positive and more easygoing on the character level. If you're really negative, then it's going to be more painful. But that's just the way it is. If you believe that's who you are, the character, then if you're a really negative character and you're identified with it, then that's going to be the worst amount of suffering. If you're identified with a positive character, then it's going to be less suffering, but still constricting. So I know that this is what you think, that there is this, some people are aware and you don't want to live in lies, but this is all your mind. It's all you. You just see yourself everywhere, everywhere. And it doesn't really matter whatever your character thinks, as long as there is this remembering that who you are is this presence. But it's not true. And if you are identified with that character, you're never going to sort it out in the character. What you're really looking for is this, is what is. Where there's no communication or not communication. You know, relationships are complicated, but to really connect with someone, you have to be present right here. This is where real love and connection comes from. And then on the human level, we're all really freaking crazy, complicated beings. It is complicated communicating, but that's okay. It's also very complicated for our body to digest food and to make it come out the other end. I'm sure there is a lot of internal struggle going on there, that the body goes through a lot of struggle doing it. It's a very complicated process. It's also very complicated communicating, but real connection comes here in this. Seeing this, knowing that they are you and you are them, that there is no boundary between each other, that your looking and them are the same thing, that your presence and them are the same thing. Hi, Bia. I will listen to it, Robert, afterwards. Hi, Ro. Hi, Cara. Hi, Lisa. Are we supposed to see the claiming happening in the mind? No. You can't really see the claiming. I mean, it's not like a thought comes up and goes, that's my iPhone. That's not like a claiming or identification. It's an energy. This energy that sucks you inside the body. Me. and it makes you feel like you. But you can't see it. But that's not who you are. This area always makes me feel a little uncomfortable when I speak about it, because everyone wants to see everything in black and white, and it's not black and white. It's multicolours. I was speaking with someone yesterday and they were saying how the Sufis, I think it's when the Sufis have certain realizations, when they get to a certain level, they're given a multicoloured coat, because this is an expression of all the different states and thoughts and experiences, that you're never one colour, you're multiple infinite colours. I thought that was beautiful. Anyway, so it's not as black and white as what it sounds like. Like, I know the way that we tend to speak about it in non-duality is that there is this me that's claiming energy, and then there can be the breaking of this me, and then who you are is this infinite space. But it's not quite like that. I can't tell you how it is, because I don't really know how to think about it. I mean, the mouth can open and words can come out, and I try my best, and you can resonate with it. There is this wholeness that's happening right here. And then there is this seeking energy that feels uncomfortable and tries to go into time and be things. And get that freedom in time. And that's not something you can know. You can't really see that seeking energy, because it just feels like a compulsion to do something. It's like an energy, a compulsion. And then there's this other place, when that dissipates, or when that's seen through, there is this relaxation that's not a human thing. It's like this deep peace or settledness, I don't know what you call it, or love or groundedness in this infinite nature. But you can't really see the seeking energy. Like, this is something that I never really like, is that you can't really see if you're there or not. So you can't really, like, the person can't really say that it's fully gone or not gone. So with me, I feel comfortable saying, so I feel, or it feels comfortable to express that there is no boundaries between internal and external world. Like, it always feels this infinite, that there's this infinite experiencing, not a character experiencing. But I can't really tell you if there's identification with the character or seeking that appears, because how can you see that? You can't ever see it, even when you're identified. But that's very wishy-washy, and people don't like wishy-washy. You know, they want it black and white. They're like, give me a fucking guru that gives it in black and white and tells me what it is and gives me A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Fucking hell, what is this? This woman, she says this, she says that, and then she always concludes that she knows shite. What is she? You never know, that might be incredibly profound. Because if you look at our society in logic, our whole society always tells you that everything's logical and that everything makes sense. So somebody that's saying that it doesn't make sense and it can't be communicated and it is mysterious and it is magical, and really they say they don't know, maybe that's like magic, that's the beauty. It's just that we're so used to following leaders that are always like, we do know and this is the way. We're so used to logic. Magic is like, pfft. And I feel that this world is magical and mysterious and unknowable. And I don't even freaking care if I am identified or not identified. The only thing that I do care about is that I can't quite communicate that to you guys, and I never want to be deceitful. Like, I don't like it when people come and say you're enlightened, because I don't know what that means to everybody, and I don't know what I am. I just am here right now as this. And so are you, and it's free. I can also tell you a story that something profound happened to me in the 10 years when I was studying this subject, and there was this big shift, and a big shift happened here, and it was really beautiful. I can tell you that in the storyline, but also if I got my head bumped and I forgot about that, then I wouldn't be able to tell you that. I'd be as free, but I wouldn't be able to tell you that. So basically, Kira, the answer to your question is no, you can't see the claiming happening. It is an unrest, but how can you interpret that? Like, so right now, how do you know if you're in unrest or not? You can know, I suppose, if you're limited, because here I can say quite honestly, I can say quite clearly that this isn't something limited that's experiencing this, but that's about as much as I could say. There isn't something limited here that's experiencing. Who is experiencing? But whether the character or whether there's still identification, you can't say that. And I apologize if I have said that in the past. I've most probably said everything because I've spoken for such a long periods of time. Although I don't think I have. It's not my personality structure, but who knows, who knows. Hey Lisa, lovely to have you back. Much love. Hey Thomas, yeah, paperwork. You and me both, Lisa. Yeah. Hi Andrea. Hi Astkil. Hi Lisa, would love to talk to you. Okay. Askil. Yes. Call away, Askil. Just let me put my headphones in. Hey Marcus, while we wait for her to call, I'll just carry on to Marcus. If I don't get to the end of your question, Marcus, because Askil calls, then please just send it again so I remember after I've spoken with them. Okay, we're there already. Hey! Hello! Okay. Hello. Hi. Hang on a sec. I don't think I've got your one second. Just let me do this. There we go. Hey. What did you want to talk about today?
Yeah. 1 second, because I'm trying to put the headphones on.
Okay. No worry. No hurry.
Hello.
Hello.
And everything is just like all in one. Just give me a second. Yes.
How are you doing?
Oh, give me a second.
Hey.
I've been trying to talk to you
Yeah.
for quite long time. Yeah. And it's just, it in life how it's like happening.
Yeah.
And in mine it's like it's just like a surprise that you just responded. Yeah. Yes, it's been quite intense, and but there was always big yes, a lot of obstacles, but I completely understand where you are because I'm there, and I see all this beauty, no matter what. And I see this beauty in you, in me, and in everything, and I see it all is one. And I think this is what I needed, just to open up. And recently, it was since May, I went to Muji's ashram, and I ran away after there because I see him as human being, you know, and there was big disappointment. But then you slowly explain, you know, I trust, still I have trust in this love and beauty, and you slowly explain that even a guru is human being, and I understand, and I can listen to him without judgment, you know, because before it was, and again, I still understand this is all process of growth into myself. And I thank you so much, Lisa. I just want to thank you for I don't know what to thank.
Oh, it's a pleasure, but it's it's a pleasure.
I listen to you so much. I listen to your little small small videos. They're so beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And it's always yes. No matter what, no matter how dark it is, it's always yes. And everything becomes so beautiful when just yes and full trust, full trust. I just want to thank you the way how you're opening and saying the truth. It's so honest. And I'm so grateful that I can speak about it to you. It is life, it is a miracle. And just to break through this big doubt, through this bubble, it's like you say, you need to have a courage. And I recognize this courage in me as well, that you had and you have. You are a great woman. And I love Khaleesi. We have a dog.
Yeah.
Because we have a house in Sri Lanka, and the dog is in Sri Lanka, you know, Salto. And I just when we don't see him like for like good 10 months, and then we come back, the way how he meets us. And you know, Sri Lankan, they're all Buddhists. So the lady that she looks after the dog, she says, he's not dog. He's not dog. I say, I know. He's not. The love that comes from him is so beautiful. And through him, I see all dogs. I don't see dogs. I see the love only. And nothing. The search was so big. Even when I was in Sri Lanka, there was so much suffering. When I went to a few retreats, like monasteries, and there was no really teaching. I was just trying to find happiness because there was a moment I was so unhappy. And once I asked one monk, and he says, I asked, how can I be happy? And I was so miserable. And he just said, just be happy. You know, I couldn't. It was so much. There was so much mind. But then I saw slowly, life opening up and showing me love and heart. And I see the monks, how they're going through their daily life, how much mindfulness there is in their movements and love. They were showing me slowly through chanting, so much opening up, and
Nice.
still I could not understand truth
Yeah.
until I came to non-duality, and everything fell into pieces.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Well, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your experience.
Yes,
I send you lots of love.
I'm your greatest fan.
Oh, thank you. I send you so much love.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Bye. Hi, Jerry. Marcos. So if anyone else would like to call in, just send a message and we can speak. Dear Lisa, I would like to share something. On Friday, I noticed that I'm moving through my life mostly by trying to take and to get something from others, always trying to get attention from others, always jealous of people or being angry with them when I feel left out. I refuse to see this for quite some time, even though every guru and non-dual teacher I've listened to seems to speak about this subject very clearly. I still have an intense seeking energy, especially around people, but I'm more aware of it now. So I have a question related to the seeking energy. Is the nature of life more of a giving and expanding kind? Because, for example, if I look at the sun or the earth, all the energy seems to come out of the center, out of nothing. And from there, so much growth and expansion is happening. Thank you so much. Very grateful to you. I think it's like a gentle dance of giving and taking. Like we need to take things in order for these bodies to grow and to flourish, but then also this giving as well. And it's in balance like everything. You give and you take. You give and you take. Yes. And the seeking energy makes you go into more taking because it always thinks that you're going to get freedom in life. So you're going to get freedom when you get attention. You're going to get freedom when you get enough this or enough that, and you won't. What you're looking for is always this, is always what you are. Let's talk about this, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that, baby. It's all about this, this, this. This is who you are. This. So when you're seeking all the time, then you're always taking. And to have a successful life, all you need to do is give, actually. And then you will receive and your body will be replenished. You just need to give, and giving feels like love. Thank you. Marcus. Hi, Charles. Hello from Michigan. Charlie Yippee, yeah. Oh, Charles, sorry. Charles, I didn't mean to make fun of your name, but I thought it was a place in America, because it was all put together. Charles Pippi here. Hi, Charles Pippi. It is insightful to get to the stage where you realize that you are all the characters in your story, your projections. Now is the question is how to live with one's own story rather than constantly seeking a spiritual life. Everyone is characters in our stories, yet everyone is searching for the screen. I don't really know what you mean. Like, it's a bit of a vague question. How to live with one's story. You don't need to really live with your story. Like, where is the story here? You only need the story when you're interacting with others, or when you're trying to make a decision about something, or when it's required practically. But you don't need to live with your story. Where is your story here? Here. Where are you here? It's only imagination. This is what's kept you in suffering, this constant imagination of you. But this is what you're doing, the hand on the cup, the sound of my voice, the light. Everything else, what else is happening? It's pretty silent here. I love it in Northern Europe when it gets into winter, like how quiet the nights are, the deadness of the night. And the deadness of the night, yada, yada. I was on a cruise last week with my mother, and it was a musical theatre cruise. I thought it was a music cruise, but it was actually a musical theatre cruise called Stages. And it was really beautiful. It was like 4 or 5 concerts a day of different musical theatre people, musical theatre. It was really sweet. And when people were watching, I realised that they were having like a bhakti experience, like a devotion experience, when the songs were playing. And that's what I fell in love with the theatre for when I was younger. My mum always used to take me. She's a massive fan of the theatre. And I fell in love with that, like that. Like when the music plays and when songs play, like the whole of life and who you are and who's listening disappears. There's just the music. And I could see it happening to the audience. They loved it so much. They're just totally into what's happening. Life is a dance between the character that exists in time and then the no character that's not, there's nothing here. There is nothing experiencing itself as everything. And neither should exclude the other. Have we got any more questions? I could just sing a music or theatre song the whole time. No more questions. Yada, yada. I'd love to play you a song, but in order to play the song, I have to first of all check that it's copyright free. My character is afraid that there must be some activity all the time, some doing to survive, whereas in being state there is nothing to do, which is freedom and relief. How to get rid of the fear that I must do something to survive, to earn money, to live. You could listen to something like Law of Attraction. I really like that. I think it, as long as you're not... Law of Attraction, though, is really bad for some people. I can see that for some people it freaks them out. So don't do it if you're one of those type of people. But like it's not your... we get taught that in order to survive, we have to work hard, and it's hard work, and you have to put effort into getting money. And in Law of Attraction, it's just about vibration. You just have to vibrate goodness, and goodness will come back. So you just have to love money, and love and money will come back. You gotta love the money. My hair is all sticking up, I see. You gotta love the money. Mindfulness Foundation. Hello. Whoops. Okay, just Yada, 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 da, da, ya. Well, there's no more questions, so I think that that might be the end of the session for today. Oh, I just realised it's dinner time. That's fantastic. I can go off and have my dinner. It's always a joy when you realise it's eating time again. Thank you so much for discussing the topic of presence and I am. I have been struggling with this lately. Your words resonate with me today. Thank you. It's a pleasure, Holly. I love talking about it. I feel like I'm really blessed to be able to express it. So blessed as in like it's really, I get to do something I really love, which is really beautiful. I don't really believe that I'm really blessed. It's just a figure of speech. Sometimes you have to use figure of speeches because speech is limited. I don't know if you'd ever realised, but it's very limited. We've only got a certain amount of words in which we can pick through to express ourselves. I think it's something like 32,000. I don't know how many words we have. Okay, my loves. Thank you so much. So I'm away on retreat. If you want to join that retreat, you still can. That's happening next Saturday. I think it's the 24th or something. No, that's not right. 27th maybe. So you're welcome to join that. Thank you very much. I love you. Bye, guys.